Hello, my friends, and welcome to Sharing Calm. My name is Sydney. Today, I am sharing a yin yoga practice with you that is catered towards beginners, but really would be perfect for anyone at all. I know myself, no matter how many years I practice yoga, I often come back to this beginner state of mind, which is very important. Always remembering that you're a student and not letting your ego get in the way of the practice so that you can continue to learn and grow and expand your wealth of knowledge and wisdom surrounding this practice. Yin Yoga, which was kind of formulated for the most part by a gentleman named Paul Grilly. He proposes that there are 5 main Yin Yoga archetypal postures. What that means is that even though there are almost an infinite number of variations of yin yoga postures that you might do, they're all for the most part based on just 5 very basic shapes that the body can make. And then you can get creative beyond that, serving your body the best way and exploring different angles and different kind of additions to each shape as you continue to deepen your practice if you'd like. These 5 main archetypes are known as shoelace, saddle, caterpillar, dragonfly, and twists. And you'll have a better understanding of what all of those mean as we go through this practice today. There's 3 principles that are often referenced when thinking about yin yoga. And the first of which is to find your edge or come to an appropriate depth of stretch or sensation rather within each posture. What that means, an appropriate depth, is not to go to your fullest or maximum range of motion, but to back off a little bit from there. So what you might do when we come into a shape is maybe see how far you could go, like what is your max without straining or hurting yourself, and then back yourself off a little bit. Then once you find that appropriate edge, that appropriate depth for yourself, the second principle is to resolve to be still as best you can. So that's why it's important to not push yourself to your max, because you want to be able to remain still there, not fidgeting, not straining, not praying for the time to end so that you can exit. Neither do you want to not feel enough, so not be far enough in the posture that your mind totally wanders away. Though if that ever happens, particularly for people who are very flexible, they might not feel a lot in a particular shape. Depends on the shape they come into. And in that moment of time, then what I'd recommend is working to cultivate mindfulness of the breath for that time. So you're still getting something out of the pose, even if you're unsure if you're even feeling anything in your body at all. But you can explore different angles of things, and we'll kind of get to that to try to feel something if you're really seeking that sensational experience in the physical body. And the third principle, so after you find your appropriate edge, you resolve to be still, is then to hold the posture for time. So in yin yoga, this length of time can be totally dependent on the pose itself. Oftentimes averages about 3 minutes, but can really be anywhere from 1 to 5, sometimes even beyond that, but I wouldn't do that until you're maybe a little bit more comfortable and experienced in holding these postures, to know that you're not hurting or injuring yourself if you're doing it for too much of an extended period of time. I know that was a lot of information at the start, but since I'm labeling this as a beginner's yin yoga class, I kind of wanted to give those pieces of information to begin. Yin yoga works primarily on what's called fascia, which is the connective tissue in the body. It's like this sling wrapped around and throughout everything, connected from the toes all the way up to the top of the head, no separation. And it's that fascia that becomes accessed when we're at that appropriate depth where we're not really stretching the muscles, but we're stretching what holds the muscles together and wraps around and throughout them. And with all of that in mind, we're just going to get right into it today. Beginning first with a variation of our shoelace archetype. Shoelace is often something where the legs almost are crossed, so I'm mimicking legs with my arms. So we'll start with the right leg, thinking about, and you could just sit simply cross-legged like this, right leg in front of the left leg. You might like to cross your right leg on top a little bit more, or even to stack the knees one on top of one another. So any variation of that, so a tight shoelace, knees stacked, or a loose shoelace with just the right foot pretty much in front of the left. If you need to sit yourself up onto something, you're more than welcome to do that here as well. And you can also add, I'm not saying that you need any props today, because I want to keep it simple, especially if this is your first time practicing, but like pillows, cushions from your couch can be beneficial if one or both knees need a little cushion under them, or as I said, if you need to sit a little bit up onto something to help make that more comfortable for your hips or for your knee joints. You might even like to just sit on a chair and cross your right leg over your left leg, any amount. Here in this posture, you're aiming for the most part to feel this stretch or this pose in the right glute with the right leg in front or on top, or the right outer hip. Now, if you're already feeling that, just sitting upright with the legs crossed, whatever variation you've chosen, then just stay sitting tall. If you're feeling like you're not quite at your edge yet, that's where you will then slowly, gradually hinge at the hips and fold yourself forward and down. You can do this any amount, a little or a lot. Remember, as I said, you might come all the way to your deepest edge and then back yourself off just a bit. Once you find that appropriate edge, settling and resolving to be still. There's nothing more to do here, nothing to accomplish. The work really happens on a deep level in the body without any extra effort from you beyond just that. Finding your edge, resolving to be still, being patient and holding for time. You may like to close your eyes. Allow your attention to become somewhat absorbed in the sensations of the body, just feeling all the different areas that this posture is accessing. Where exactly do you feel it? And how far do those sensations expand or ripple outwards? You might feel this any amount down the leg or up into the back, primarily on the right side. See if you can feel one more full breath here. And if you're folded forward, walking yourself all the way back upright. You might like to, after having the legs crossed there for a couple of minutes, extend the knees, extend the legs, roll out through the ankles, and then take your time to switch sides. This time with that left leg crossed either in front, just foot or shin in front of the other, Maybe that left leg crosses a little bit on top, a little bit more, or the knees might come almost or fully stacked. Remember, if you're sitting up onto a chair, maybe on a couch, you might just cross your left ankle over that right thigh. Always can support underneath the knees with pillows, cushions, folded blankets. Notice right away, even sitting tall, if you feel anything at all, kind of gluing your attention into that left glute and down the outer edge of the left hip and left thigh. Stay tall or hinge at the hips, descending forward and down. Finding where you feel enough sensation, but not too much. Present in the body once you arrive there, just witnessing and noticing how you feel. If it's too difficult to anchor your attention on the sensation in the body that arises within the shape, then you might follow the breath. Noting I am breathing in as I breathe in. I am breathing out as I breathe out. I am breathing in as I breathe in. I am breathing out as I breathe out. Take one more round of breath. And slowly make your way out of the shape, sitting tall if you're folded forward. And again, might extend the legs both out in front of you, letting the knees release from that bend, rolling out through the ankles. You might even lean hands behind you, leaning back, lifting up and out through the chest. And that was our shoelace posture. Moving now towards what's called saddle. So saddle has a lot of different variations and typically involves opening up through the front line of the body. Now, saddle pose in its kind of most, I think, complex variation requires some form of kneeling and leaning back. But I find that that's not accessible for most, so we'll do today what I find to be the most, or at least a more accessible variation of saddle. You can do this down on the ground, you could do this on a couch or on a bed, kind of the classic kid laying in front of the TV, hips come down, thighs come down, elbows underneath the shoulders, forearms extended out in front of you, palms face down, flat onto the ground. If you find that you experience any discomfort or pain in the low back, for a lot of folks, widening the feet, widening the legs can help to relieve that. If that doesn't aid in any way, walking the elbows a little more forward out in front of you rather than beneath the shoulders decreases the depth of the back bend. And over time, you might work to walk the elbows back in towards you. If you're seeking more, however, and maybe you press down into the hands, lifting the elbows up, increasing the depth of the back bend here. This posture requires a little bit of effort, stability through the shoulders and the arms. So notice the strength being applied. And try not to bring that strain up into the neck, especially not up into the jaw. So keep the jaw relaxed, the face relaxed. In any of these postures, you might like to take a break, come out of them, and come back in, or even exit early. The key point is to always be paying attention to how you feel inside so that you can take mindful action if you need to make any adjustments or changes. There's no pressure to stay in a posture. There's no pressure to even do any particular pose at all. These ways of practicing yoga are all in an effort to explore the reality of your existence. So while you gain flexibility, you build mindfulness, patience, a sense of deep, perhaps peace. It's also a process of learning about the reality and your direct perception of your experience of this life. So there's no force, no fight, just a practice of gaining wisdom and continuously gaining more insight into the self and your experience of the self within the realm of the universe you're living within. Take about 3 more full breaths here. Might be a little less, a little more, depending on your pace of breathing. And as you release that final third exhale, widening the elbows, releasing the chest down, making a pillow with your hands for your forehead, and for a moment just resting, lying flat onto the ground. Start to lift the head back up. Take the hands next to the ribs so you can press your way all the way back up off of the belly and come back to your seat. Sitting down, moving now from that saddle archetype, our Sphinx pose we just did, into our caterpillar pose, which typically involves targeting the hamstrings or back of the legs and even the back of the body, the back of the torso. Now, caterpillar can be done with both legs extended long. Today, we're going to practice one leg at a time, so you might think of this as a half caterpillar. Keeping the right leg out long, bend that left knee in, open it out to the side. Just as I mentioned in our shoelace posture, that first pose we did, you can sit up onto something, or you can put support underneath this left knee. You might even combine a little bit of shoelace and caterpillar at the same time if you want to, and it's more comfortable for your left leg, the one that's bent out to the side, to cross over the right leg. You're more than welcome to do that as well. I mentioned we're targeting the back of the legs. If you feel that already in this sitting tall, leg extended, you might stay here. I'm particularly sore through my hamstrings today, so this is already a very deep sensation I'm feeling. That if you're seeking more, then gradually hinging at the hips to fold forward and down. Now, in addition to props underneath your seat or underneath that left knee, some like to bend the right knee, whether just bending it with nothing or rolling a blanket or towel underneath the right knee. This tends to help if you feel strain in your back. Something else that might help is encouraging a long spine, straight spine, like the chest is reaching forward and out, rather than rounding the spine and folding the head down. So those are a few different ways you can explore how to feel different sensations: straight right leg, bent right knee, straight spine, or rounded spine, and any combination of those. Remember, you're not trying to necessarily get all the way to the right foot and tug yourself forward and down. Finding that appropriate depth. Feel the sensations there. Observe inhalation as inhalation. Exhalation as exhalation, and allow the time to pass. Take one more breath in. Full breath out. If you're folded forward any amount, sitting yourself back up tall, re-extending the left leg as you switch sides. Bend that right knee in and up. Let it open out to the side. Remember, you might like to cross the right leg over the left. Might like to bend your left knee versus having it straight. Even the foot can be active or totally loose and relaxed. Sitting tall through your spine, notice what you feel while you're upright. Maybe that's enough. Perhaps explore the depth, hinging at the hips forward and down. Feel that fullest edge without hurting yourself. And then back off. Once you back off, see how relaxed and effortless the muscles down the left leg can become. And from there, that relaxing of the muscles spreads from the leg all the way down to the foot and up the back, the whole body. A part of this through the connection of the fascia, which really also accesses the nervous system, cultivating a sense of feeling safe, grounded, stable, all these different shapes. Take one more breath. Let it go. Bring yourself back upright if you're folded forward. Let yourself re-extend that right leg for a moment. Maybe bounce out through the knees, roll through the ankles, or again, take the hands behind you, lift the chest up, pull the shoulders back. And that was our caterpillar shape, half caterpillar variation. We'll come now into a variation of dragonfly. So when we think about dragonfly, we think about the legs coming wide, accessing these muscles in the area of the body kind of generally referred to as the groin, so the inner thighs. We are not today going to take this variation with the legs wide, but just know that that's one option you might take. We're going to take it with a butterfly leg variation instead. And in addition to that, we're going to take it supine, meaning lying on our backs. We've already done a lot of forward folding, so I want to allow the back to feel supported here, which is why I'm opting for lying back for us all today. Soles of the feet will come together. Knees will open wide. You can do that before or after lying down. Might like support underneath the knees. Heels might be in close or further away. Does not matter the distance. And then coming to lie down onto your back. If you don't want to lie down, you can always stay sitting up. That is okay. If you want to have a cushion behind your back, if lying all the way flat down is for any reason not comfortable, you can put a cushion behind the back. Letting the head rest down, kind of tuck the shoulders a little bit under the chest. Some people even like to mirror the arms with the low body, interlacing the hands behind the very bottom of the head so the thumbs can extend down the neck. That's if you want to add a little bit of an opening sensation through the chest and the shoulders. Feel the support of the back on the ground underneath you if you're lying down. And feel the weight of the legs being gently opened as gravity releases the thighs down and out towards the earth. See if you can stay present for 10 more rounds of breath here. If your hands are behind your head, start to release them, taking them down now to the outsides of the thighs to help close the knees together. Walk your feet a little bit wider than your hips and gently, slowly rock both knees to the right, up, back to the sky, and over to the left. And also just stay still, lying on your back with the knees bent up to the sky for a moment. Experience what's kind of known as this rebound or in between. But these rocks of the knees side to side, internally rotating the hip of the knee that turns in and down. Can also be a good counter to that external rotation you were just within. And once you're even, bringing the knees back up to the center once again. Moving now into our twist, our final archetype. You can keep the feet on the ground as you come into this twist and just simply allow the knees to go over to the left side. That'll make the twist a little lower in the spine. If you want to bring the twist a little bit up in the back, lifting the feet off the ground, bringing the knees somewhat in towards the chest, and from there, letting the knees move over to the left. Everyone's bodies are very different in this shape, so if your knees don't go all the way to the ground, you might want to put cushions underneath the legs. If there's a lot of space between the legs, and you might even put a cushion all the way from the knees to the ankles between there. If your right shoulder lifted up off the ground as the knees came over, then you might instead put a cushion behind that right shoulder or underneath the right arm. The right arm is more than welcome to be more so down at your side, even on your body, depending on what you have going on in the shoulder, or maybe it opens wide out to the right side. Last little option here, the direction of your gaze can remain straight up to the sky. A little more accessible might be in the same direction as the knees are turning, or you can add a twist to the cervical spine through the neck by turning the head over to the right side. Find your depth. Find any of the support that you need, and settle into stillness here. For these last few shapes, I'll offer you mostly silence, allowing the sensations in your body and your breath to ultimately be your own guide. Take one or two more breaths here. And then start to bring yourself back to center. Legs come back to the middle. You might again kind of like a little bit of a rock side to side, or rocking the knees side to side, letting that first side go. And then making your way into the twist in the opposite direction. Same thing, feet can start on the ground and just letting the knees fall to the right. Lifting the feet off of the ground and then letting the knees go to the right. As you do this, you might notice the left hip starts to move on top of the right hip. You might like to take those cushions underneath the legs, in between the legs, or under the left shoulder in this case, on this side, all your choice. Left arm can be down at your side, on your body, or open wide. Gaze can be straight up in the same direction as the knees towards the right, or twisting through the cervical spine too, gazing towards your left. Taking as much time as you need, even pausing the video to set up all of your props to support the body. Settling into the moment. Patient as you watch the journey unfold and the time that you spend in this shape. Just a few more breaths on this side. And then unwind your body from the twist. Moving in any way that feels good after that. You might kind of rock totally side to side, twisting in both directions, or just bring your back flat on the ground, knees bent up to the sky. You might take your feet wider than the hips and let the knees fall in towards one another. It's a position referred to as constructive rest, just for a few breaths. I didn't mention, but those twists, of course, can also be done from a chair or sitting. Just twisting the upper body, the chest to either side. It's always available whenever you need. We've completed our practice of those 5 archetypes, and we'll end our practice with a posture called Shavasana or corpse pose, our final rest or our final rebound from the practice. You're welcome to find absolutely any position that is most comfortable in allowing the body to totally release effort. That might be lying totally flat on the ground. But if for whatever reason that is not comfortable for you, the knees can be bent. You can have a cushion underneath the knees. You can lie on either side of the body or onto your belly, or find your way into a meditative seated posture instead. If you're lying down, I recommend allowing the arms to release down at your sides, letting the legs go whatever distance apart feels natural, so you're not holding anything together, but letting the limbs totally rest. Allowing the breath to be natural. Giving the body a chance on a cellular level to process and integrate everything you've done throughout this practice today. Your mind might wander. You might prefer to anchor it on the breath or in the heart space. There's nothing more to do here, nowhere else to be. Let this silence be the greatest teacher as you allow yourself to remain still. Gradually invite your awareness to return to your physical body. Really feel your presence in the room that you're resting within. The ground beneath you, the air around you, perhaps any sounds surrounding you. Noticing breath rising in the belly, contracting softly down. Feel a big, deep breath in. Open the mouth to exhale it out. On the next inhale, bring a little bit of movement to the fingers and toes, wiggling them. And then bring some movement to the wrists and ankles, rolling them around. You don't have to, but you might like to stretch the arms overhead and reach long through the toes. Bend the knees now. Roll yourself over onto either side. You can pillow the head with the arm that's on bottom. And from your side, gently, as best as you can without straining the neck, coming all the way back up to seated. Any comfortable seat, sitting tall, eyes might be closed or just a soft, gentle gaze. Once you find your seat, hands in the lap, or an invitation to connect the palms together in front of the heart, in front of the chest. Really notice and be conscious for a moment of how you feel here. Maybe recognizing how you've changed over time, just over the course of this practice. Might be a big change, might be small, you might be unsure, that's okay. Just notice the reality of what is here, what is now. The reality of who you are. Feel a sense of gratitude and compassion bubbling up in your heart, both towards yourself and outwards towards anything in this life that comes to mind. May even feel a sense of gratitude towards this practice and what it brought to you today. We'll seal our practice today by chanting the sound of Om one time. It's your choice to join or simply listen. This is thought of as kind of the universal sound of everything all at once vibrating together in harmony. We'll start with a full round of breath, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth, let it go. Big breath in. Gently blink the eyes open. Thank you so much from me to you for your time, your presence in this practice today. If you have any questions at all, don't ever hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to talk more about yoga and to support you in your practice however I can best. If you're totally new to the practice of yoga, know that there are many different ways of practicing this technique of coming into greater awareness with the truth of the world. And this is just one, this yin yoga, a slower kind of side of the coin of yoga. There are faster paced practices, and everyone needs different things at different times. But I hope that this practice served you in some way today. I post a video here every week, so if you're not yet subscribed and you want to join again, don't forget to do that before you go. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and want more practices like this one. And until we meet again, I hope you have a beautiful remainder of your week. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.